Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, it's the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, good to be with you, man. How you doing?
Good to be here, sir. Glad to be here again with you on this phenomenal show. Made some corrections to the stream. I'm hoping to stick, and it looks good, and I'm very happy. I'm very excited. It's the little things, it's the small victories.
Correct.
So yeah, no, doing well. Staying very busy from work. Joe, before we jump in, um, I know that last week, and I wanted to do a separate video on this because how I felt, right? But I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait on this and let it simmer. Last week when we were doing our final topic of the night, it was announced that Akira Toriyama had passed away. Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball, Doctor Slump, Sandland, among others. Um, and I was very bummed. I was speechless, and I didn't know what to say at the moment. Right, last week. And I know that it's been overdone, and rightfully so. Right. Dragon Ball specifically impacted a lot of our lives growing up. Uh, me watching Dragon Ball back in the '90s before it was big in the U.S. Right, and then I watched it again in dubbed, um, and then having watched it again with my daughter just this past year. So um, I I'm not gonna lie, I shed a couple tears. Like it hit me. It hit me. It was the Stan Lee, right? It was like for
Yeah.
a lot of people it was Stan Lee. I know how you felt about Stan when Stan passed away. Um, and it's rare for me to really feel like feelings or have or not feel feelings, right? Well, that sounds dumb, but have feelings or show feelings for a celebrity writer, right? Uh, it's probably the only two that come to mind is Chester Bennington and Carrie Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
For me,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
those were the ones that hit me. It's like, oh dang, like this is like real sad, right? I know for a lot of people it's Robin Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, to a certain extent, to me, I could add him in it. Harold Ramis, right, when he passed away too. Um, it's just that I wouldn't be like straight up, and I know that like Dragon Ball's been one of my lifelong passions, like ever since I was a teenager back in the '90s, and again I had the privilege of watching it uncut before it even was a thing in the U.S. and um, I have memories that I cherish from when I was growing up, and like really like loving something. Like to me, DBC was my post Ninja Turtles thing. Like, so I outgrew Ninja Turtles, and there was a an empty space in between, and DBC came along, and that resparked interest in me and into resparked interest in anime, resparked interest in manga, and I started playing the old like really bad Dragon Ball games that the DBC that were games that were out there for SNES and Genesis and whatnot. I emulated them and played them because they never came out here because no one knew what it was, right? So um, and that's all great, right? It's memories that I have from my childhood that will continue on, and really special moments that I have with my cousin. We used to watch it together, um, and that was our thing, right? And we were like really big into it, and we couldn't wait for the next episode. It was like just the waiting and the hoping that they don't go back and they'd give us something new. Like that's um on top of that, I had the opportunity to watch the original show too, right? So not just Z, like here when it became popular, Z was the thing, right? I watched both the way years before they were popular. I know that the manga was a thing. Manga in PR wasn't really a big. It is now. It is now here too, but back then you just couldn't get it. So yeah, it was very special. But and I'm thankful for again for those memories. But when it really became special for me, I'm gonna get emotional, Joe.
It's
I'm
okay.
gonna get emotional. So when it really got special for me with was sharing it with my daughter, right? Um, Having her show interest for it, for the characters, love for the characters, ask questions. Oh, I want to keep watching. Let's watch another one. Let's do a Saturday marathon, and we'd watch 4 episodes and watch the movies. And like we're watching the Z movies as bad as they are. We're going through them. We're about 10 episodes away from the end of the first show, and her interest keeps going, right? And for me to be able to share that with her, uh, it's like I cannot thank Toriyama enough for that gift that he gave me. And it's memories that I want to take with me forever, right? And I know that these are memories that she's gonna remember for a long, long time. If not the rest of her life. So I'm very thankful for that, and you know, keep DB. It keeps living on, right? I have two figures back there. They're kind of symbolic now because I have legendary Super Saiyan Goku from the Frieza fight, and I have a Beast Gohan. So Goku,
Uh,
Goku is for me from when I was growing up, and the Beast Gohan is for her because the first thing that we watched together was superhero, and you know it's special. So I'm thankful and I'm emotional, right? And dang it, I know that a lot of people put out their videos already, and I wanted to do a video on it, but I just wanted to wait, ask you what you think about it, and kind of go into a little bit of a segue here before we go into I guess Bad Batch and our topics. But yeah, man, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I won't say too much because what you said was just very special, and I'm really glad you took that opportunity to express the way you did, how much his legacy from what what now your next generation, your child will continue on now this love for something that was just birthed out of this incredible man, like his incredible ideas and his incredible art and storytelling and all of it together just really affecting the world. And this isn't just like a something that affected a certain group of people, and now that he's gone, and it's a tragic because that's something we saw coming. So when it came to Stan Lee,
Right,
like
right.
we knew he was getting up there, and we knew that there was a chance it was gonna be soon. And when that happened, it was so sad. But in this situation, we were in the middle of the show and we didn't suspect this, and glad you caught it when you did because that was a very raw reaction of just wow, this is huge. I've been seeing the people coming together. People having different special moments together as fans, celebrating his legacy, and it's just precious to see how many people were truly affected and truly love what this person did because I feel like a lot of times people either like people wait till when they pass to really get their flowers. Sometimes it's like a shame when they're alive they don't get it, but truly like this man got to live through and see the hype of his fandom, and it's not stopping there. Like it's continuing on, and so yeah, man, I'm just really taken back by it myself just by seeing it, and seeing how it affected you, and now how is it your family? Like it's very special.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I guess, based on what's out there, his son Sasuke is taking over. Excuse me, and um, you know, uh, Dragon Ball Super is still in. The manga is still in writing. There's still new chapters coming out. It was announced that Dragon Ball Daima is no longer just going to be a web series. It's going to be a full on like TV show now, um, and that's coming out later this year. They, I guess, it's. I'm not sure if they do that here, right? But it is commonplace to do evaluation of how much properties are worth in Japan when you pass it to another, right? When you pass away, um, and dude, I guess the valuation for Dragon Ball, like including manga, anime, and merchandise and games, is at 23 billion right now.
Whoa.
So for the brand valuation,
Whoa.
so it's if you like we knew it was big, right? But I was like, ah, dang it, this is like bigger than Star Wars.
This is huge.
So
That's huge, dude.
um yeah. Um so that's pretty insane. So I know that we'll see the super continue. I don't know if he's going to continue much after what's already been planned. I know that the assistant writer is going to be taking over some of the writing, and yeah, time will tell. I'm nervous. I'm cautiously optimistic because I know that Toei Animation learned their lesson from GT. Um, GT was bad. Like there's the only redeeming qualities of GT is Toriyama designed the characters, and that's it. The storytelling is just atrocious. Is just bad.
Wow.
Toei did their thing, right? Um, and 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 Toriyama himself, he's on record saying that he never watched the anime, right? And that's why uh, a lot of people think that there's retcons, and he keeps forgetting things, and it was because he never watched he didn't watch the anime, so when he wrote something, right, or did something in the manga, I was like, wait, this happened in the anime, like, I was like, what the heck? I was like, well, this is not it. So
Right.
um yeah, yeah, he was an interesting fella. I guess it's out there that he didn't even own a cell phone. Like he didn't. He only communication that he had with people outside was like through email on his computer at home. And uh, you know, it's crazy, right? It's like we like Sandland. Like they just signed a contract with Disney Plus to for the Sandland anime, and um like the more like Diamond's coming out, right? The Super's still going on. There's new games coming out. It's I'm glad that he was able to see the peak, right? I'm also glad that his family was able to mourn in private before making it known that he passed. Because he passed on the first, and it was announced on last Thursday on the 7th. Um, so they did it because they didn't want the fans to like go crazy, right? There's like
Yeah.
they said that they are going to do like a special event for the fans after the family's done mourning, um and I'm sure that that's gonna be an event in on itself. So yeah, I'm just thankful, right? And it's crazy. I never met the guy, but I feel, and and I'm thankful for what he gave us. So rest in peace, Sensei. That's all I got from my end of the of the woods, sir. I don't know if you have anything on your WhatsApp.
Yeah, I saw another movie this last weekend.
All right,
Went and saw Kung Fu Panda 4. So I don't know, Obed, if you've kept up and watched all of them that they've had up until there.
1 and 2.
Uh, okay, so that's all you really need to see. Kung Fu Panda 3, I'm not trying to make this about that because but Kung Fu Panda 3 I didn't really love. However, there is the tie-in, because Kung Fu Panda 3 is primarily about him rediscovering like who his family is and where they came from, and because obviously he's adopted Poe, and so you find out what his origins. So that it's sweet. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Just I felt like the first two was really strong. With this one, I think it's back on par with those first two. It's short. It's like an hour and a half.
Okay.
It's super funny, which is what you hope for, and it's not trying to like, even though they're going back and they're making it very much like a legacy film where it's like, I mean, if you've seen the trailers, like he's facing off against the chameleon, and the chameleon can take forms of other people, and
Yeah,
one
like
of
a
the people
shapeshifter
is
almost, right?
a
Yeah.
shapeshifter, right? And she takes the form of, a former rival of his from one of the other movies at one point, whatever, right? There's like a little part of that's there, but overall it's still like a new adventure for him because at its core premise, without, spoiling the movie, just tell you what the main premise is, like he is looking now to pass on and to train a new apprentice to be the new dragon warrior. So, like, he's still the dragon warrior, but he's got to have an apprentice to pass it on to, and it comes in unlikely form, just like he was an unlikely, suspecting person. No one expected him. He was thought it was a mistake when Uguay pointed at him, because he jumped through hoops just to get to the ceremony of this thing.
Right.
Um, really kind of similar way there. Yeah, really good story. No one's ever too far gone. It's never too late to change. That's great. You have good messages like that, but still making a fun time. I would recommend it. If someone was interested and they wanted to they wanted to see it, go have at it. Go see it. You got good movies out right now. You got Dune out. You
Right.
got Kung Fu Panda 4 out. It's a good thing to happen. And you know what? In a couple weeks, Obed, I'll be doing a review for Godzilla and Kong New Empire. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I really want to go out of my way and watch it.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude.
I still
I don't
oh
blame you.
I gotta actually watch the show on Apple because I think I have 1 month left on
Monarch.
my yeah
Yeah.
Monarch. I think I have like a month left on my trial for Apple TV. I gotta
You get through that
yeah,
fast.
yeah, I
It's a
gotta
good.
fit
It's
in
just.
there.
It's not too long, so you're good.
Yeah. Um. No. Yeah. Yeah. I want to see. I want to see that movie. It's so dumb, and I love it, and I want to
I
see
know.
it.
Fast and Furious
Yeah.
for Godzilla and Kong.
And I'm actually keeping an eye out for the Blu-ray for -1. So
Oh, dude.
I'm
Oh,
gonna get it
that's a whole
now that
nother.
they won, right? Now that they proved that you don't need to spend $150 million on CG people.
She-Hulk. We're looking at you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, right. That's insane, dude. It's
Is
like
that crazy?
I don't. So okay, here's the thing, right? So I know, and I know that this is a uniquely Hollywood thing,
Yeah.
but like when you watch like the but not the budget, but the payouts for some of the actors are insane. Like the upfront, like so. I think it's fine if you want to, royalties and all that, right? That's fantastic. But I think those upfronts are just they're killing the industry because you have a $200 million budget and you spend 100 million on paying the actors,
This
and
this is
then
why there was a strike, my friend.
50 million on I know 50 million on advertising, and you're left with 50 million for the movie, right?
This is why they were on strike, because the studio heads were like, "This is getting out of hand," and the actors were like, "No, it's not." And there's a lot of things going on
See,
there. It's a weird complex. There's
bro.
pros and cons. Like, I agree. There's certain areas that no, and other areas yes. It's a
See,
weird thing.
See, but that's the thing. Like in Japan, right? You know, actors are very, very popular and
Oh,
extremely
for
famous
sure.
over there, right? Um, but they just work, right? but that, and they do commercials and they do a lot of other things, and they do small movies, they do big movies, they do everything, right? Here, no, it's like, oh no, I was like, I was super frou. I'm gonna charge you $25 million for me to be in this movie, but over there you got someone like freaking Sony Chiba with a freaking legend and did like a million movies. So
Yeah.
a lot of them bad. So it's you know I don't know, something's got to give. Right, and I see it's fine for actors to ask for their returns, right? um especially royalties, and when it comes to like streaming and all that, where
Yes. Yeah.
royalties are iffy. Yes, I a million percent support them getting that.
Same.
But I do have a big problem with the upfronts. Like you have a movie again. It's like Endgame. Like how much did like RDJ get paid for Endgame? Like 30 million, dude. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
everyone like banked out. And
The movie made like $2 billion, but still.
right, and that's see, and that's totally fine, right? Because that's a special case, but you're taking that upfront risk. That's it's quite the risk, right? It's like
Huge.
when you see like Solo, right? Like Solo, like the budget, like they paid these actors a bunch of money, and
Oh yeah.
they, the movie didn't make that much back. So, you know, when it comes to like royalties, and again, if they fight for streaming and all that, I support you 100%. But you gotta because if you want to keep making movies, like, so we're gonna go back to the late 90s, early 2000s, when we have like a million romantic comedies with very low
Oh
budget,
yeah.
with like they spend like 10 million doing the movie, but then the movie costs 50 because they have to pay the actors like 20 each for the lead roles, and that's still a problem, right?
Yeah.
And I think that minus one came at the right time to shake up the industry. And it's like, show up and say, hey, it's like, listen, we don't need to spend $300 million on a good movie with good visual effects. So I'm glad that movie showed up. So I'm gonna support it, and I'm out of my word. So I'm when the 4K Blu-ray comes out, I'm gonna get it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, cool. Joey, want to jump into Bad Batch, sir? Did you watch the
I'm
double
caught
whammy?
up.
No,
I
because I wasn't expecting it.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
expecting the double whammy, dude. Both episodes absolutely excellent.
Oh yeah.
So good, man. Again, the tensions are gone, but now we got other tensions with, it's like, hey, you messed us up back then, so what the heck are you doing here? It's like, let's question this guy because this guy's a freaking traitor, right? Um, Man, it was so good. Interesting to see how the they're taking some of the clones and from base, and making them into assassin clones and like ninja almost, right? So that was very interesting. I'm curious to see, Joel, and this is me just watching the episodes today. I was thinking, it's like, are we? Is this going to lead up to the Death Troopers? Because it's widely known that the Death Troopers were clones that were experimented on and
Right.
were augmented, right? So I'm wondering if we're going to see Death Troopers at the end of the season. So
That makes sense.
yeah, but yeah, no, both episodes excellent. Good to see Rex back, of course. And spoilers. Wolf. So like Wolf shows up. It's like, oh dang, it's that Wolf. And um then you think about the timeline, right? It's like, well, this, like, when is this? Because in Rebels, like Wolf, yeah, I already was like crazy, right, or whatever. So I'm wondering if we're gonna see that. It's like if something would happen to Wolf, like he gets injured or something, and then that's how he becomes like kind of weird on Rebels. So, But yeah, I mean, again, both episodes excellent. Really good action on both. I stop like Disney. Please stop making Star Wars so dark, and I don't mean it like dark. It's like I can't see anything, bro. It's like, can you make a fight or something like during daytime? Like Mando did it, and Boba Fett did it as for all his flaws. But what's up with that? It's like I can't see anything, and
Yeah.
that happened in Obi-Wan, and it happens in this show a lot too. Um, but other than that, that's the only gripe I have. But yeah, other than that, man, what do you think?
Yeah, I truly loved both of these episodes. I'm glad they dropped them both together. Great, great pairing. The way the cliffhanger would have been tough to have waited a whole other week to have both of these here. Um, I did not watch them in back-to-back sittings. I watched one the other night, and then I watched the other one today. And let me tell you something. I just think all in all, this show just continues to not miss a beat. Like there's not one episode so far that I go, nah, that's a little weak, not that good. Every episode's been
Right,
good. Dramatic beats are not always like, let's get dark, 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 intenser, intenser, intenser. It's like, no, no, no. It's the same thing. It's moving together this big, big main moment that we're trying to get to about trying to get back to Tantus and freeing the clones
right.
and seeing how they do it as they go on this journey. Now, the individualism with Crosshair, where Crosshair is really still having this kind of uh, earning back the trust. It's not just like, hey, kumbaya, we come together, all is forgiven, and we just move on. Like, it's realistic. When someone's done the things that he's done,
Right.
like it has to be earned again. And even though the Bad Batch, like Hunter, and I have accepted him back after the episode before that we had, really was special in that way of seeing them have that reunited trust in one another. But like you're seeing it still continue on with the rest of the other clones interact with them that are a part of the rebellion, that aren't a part of the Empire.
Yeah.
Um, I think Obed, the assassin clone, essentially that was sent after them. There's also you see two of them, one that gets captured and one that
Yeah.
continues on. The one that's in the second episode that was sent to actually take out Omega and take out the captured clone. I almost wonder if he has some of Crosshair's DNA. That if he because he's very it's almost like they were fighting as the same person.
Ah.
Like the way it was very, very
It
like
was a
a duel of
sniper.
the
He kind of
sniper.
have the same thing. Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah,
very,
yeah,
very similar.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that's for sure. Someone that was watching with me referenced that as well. I said, I think that makes sense. It's possible. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Regardless, I love your theory about the whole thing of the dark the dark troopers, the death troopers. Sorry, coming from that. And then I just love that standoff at the end about like Rex doesn't have to fight his way out. It's Wolf and he uses his brotherhood and he speaks to him as a brother, as a friend, and says, "Trust your instincts. Do you understand?" It's very Star Wars.
Yeah.
Trust your feelings. Like, sense what's
Right.
going on
Do what's
around you
right.
right now.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
what's right. You have a choice here to make. You make that choice. I'm not gonna coerce you into it. I think it's awesome. And yeah, like, I'm curious to see where they can see what that werewolf continues on. But yeah, loved it. Loved it all around.
yeah, yeah. Man, this little show, I'm gonna miss it because I've liked it since the beginning. It's been one of those that I really I look forward for new seasons. But yeah, I'm hoping that the ended with a bang, and I hope this is not the last we see of the Bad Batch. Like I want to see them on more stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, whoever
Mando or
survives,
whatever.
I hate to say it, but it's very Rebels.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll see. It's a good show. It's a good show. Yeah, I
I
mean, you can
really
see from
enjoyed it.
Rebels that there's not much left.
Right, right.
Although
Well,
you can they like you said last week, right? They could very well just was like, you know what, we're gonna leave all this behind. Let's just be and leave a peaceful life over here. And
right on that
yeah,
island.
yeah,
But like, but I'm just saying, similar to Rebels, how like spoilers, people who haven't seen Rebels,
right.
like we knew that not all of them would survive, and then Kanan was the big one that bit the dust. It could be very similar here with the Bad Batch, where like
Good.
they don't all make it out. The ones that do, potentially one or two start to show up in some live action forms later on or something, because we know clones have a exponential life.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. Good stuff so far. The season's been excellent. I guess we can segue. Uh, you can probably take over this one, but it was announced today, Joe, that I guess Rogue Squadron is alive and Patty Jenkins is still like on the project. So what's up with that, man? What the heck?
Yeah, yeah. So it comes really from Patty Jenkins herself, truly. She basically said, "Hey, it is true. Wonder Woman 3 fell apart. It's not happening." She was on a podcast talking pictures. And she's quote, we all know James Gunn coming in, clean slate, Wonder Woman 3 is not happening. I know Gal Gadot went in front of the camera and said, "Oh, it's still happening." I was very clear on the podcast saying, like, no disrespect to Gal, nothing against her or anything like that. It sounded like somebody who was just not in the know of what was going on at that moment. The timing was a little off. Maybe her PR had spoken to her before James did. Um, she didn't even know who was Superman was casted as, and it was already chosen. Like it was very obvious that it was a little out of the know there. But yeah, Patty makes it clear on this podcast. Hey, yeah, I'm not doing Wonder Woman 3. So with that, I've got time, and so I'm going back to Star Wars, and I owe Lucasfilm a draft. Now, having a draft coming out does not mean the movie's coming out. I want to make that very clear. She was signed on. They made the announcement publicly. That was that's very Catholic Kennedy. That's very like, forerunning. Let's just get this out there and
Yeah,
get people hyped and trying to save my public, image here by doing this and say, look, the great, person who worked on Wonder Woman is now joining us, right? At that time. And but like with Marvel, not that's never happened, but like it's the same Disney brand essentially. There's a lot of people who have drafts that right now are due to Marvel. It doesn't mean they're actually making the project yet.
right.
And even Bob Iger has alluded to it himself when he talked about it in last week's interview that we referenced a little bit. But like he's like there are multiple projects specifically between like Star Wars and Marvel that they have had to kill off because of it not being profitable or not seeming to be profitable. And many people start suspecting, like, what are these projects talking about? Is this Blade? Is it this? Whatever. All these different things. Like, what were things that were killed because of finances that were actually in the midst of being in production? Like, what form
Right.
that is, pre-production, whatever that is, were projects that got killed. I'm not saying this project's dead. I'm not saying this project's not coming out. I'm just saying that like, just because she has a draft that's due, she now has time. As she's telling basically this podcast, like, hey, I was working on this project. I'm shifting gear to this. She does owe them something. Lucasfilm's probably playing nice with her contract of saying, yep, you can get to it now, but that does not mean it's absolutely coming out still. Do I still think it should come out? If it's a good script, yeah. If it's a good draft, yeah. Make the project. That's my mindset. I do not feel as fond of her writing just from the Wonder Woman side of things that I've watched. She's done many other projects, and I'm not gonna pretend that I'm well versed in all of those. I'm only judging based on the Wonder Woman side of stuff.
Has she done anything after Wonder Woman or?
She's done other stuff. I know she did something with Game of Thrones before. She's done like a bunch of different things. But yeah, it's a good question. After Wonder Woman, I'm not too sure. But the one thing that's important to note is Wonder Woman, the first one, which I really enjoyed. I still think the first Wonder Woman is something very special.
It's great.
Where the second one was disappointing because I think of how awesome the first one is. But like with the first one, what many people didn't realize is like a Patty Jenkins film, yes, but guess who worked on that script? Zack Snyder. That was a story, but it's literally in the trailer, in the trailer, in
Right.
the and post credits and credits. They're saying, story by Zack Snyder. Um, I'm I feel like for her, if someone else did some of the story treatment or worked in tandem with her, I might be a little more excited on the surface. That does not mean on her own she can't do it. I'm not saying that. I'm just basing on what I've seen before, what I did like, what I didn't like, which the second one I know she did her own full treatment on. And there's not much about it that I really was happy with because I felt it could have gone a very different way. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my reaction. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I'm just double checking. Nothing after
Okay.
1984. So that's concerning, if you ask me. Right. It she was a hot commodity there for a second, and then that movie came out, dude, and like I don't know what happened, man. Well, Um, I don't know. I would have liked seeing this project, right? Um, if you did you ever play that Squadrons
Battlefront?
game? No, the
Yeah.
Squadrons.
Oh yeah, I played
Yeah,
Squadrons. Yeah, I played it.
yeah. So like if you do something like that, right, where you have your squadrons and you're gonna out and do your missions, or like Battlefront 2, kind of like what the story mode for Battlefront 2 was,
Yeah.
where you have your squad doing the thing, right? That could be cool, right? And you can split it into like you can have a really good like opening sequence, like space battle sequence, right? And then you ground it for a little bit, and then at the end you have your big like set piece like battle. And if you
I
do,
want
go ahead.
I want Top Gun Maverick for Rogue
In
Squadron.
space,
I'm
yeah,
not
Top Gun
saying
in
that you
space,
have to repeat the same thing, but if you could take something like that where it's like we are training for this ultimate battle and somehow ties into something where like that's much bigger in Star Wars, like
right?
oh snap, that'd be sick.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you need to do. It's like
Yeah.
because you can set the movie um like like in between like Empire and or A New Hope and Empire, right? It's like, oh yeah, this the Rogue One, they gave they gave their lives to get the plans out, so in their honor we're making this squadron, and now we're gonna train because we're gonna be like a elite squadron and whatnot, right? Yeah, totally. Top Gun in space. You need yeah.
Right.
You nailed it. That's perfect, right? And even with Maverick, right? Because Maverick is the same thing. It
Right.
starts with
Top Gun
a
Maverick.
it starts with a small thing, and then it ends with a big set piece thing, and then you ground it again for a little bit, and then you end. Yeah, yeah, totally. That's what you need to do, right? Problem is that you gotta be able to write these characters,
Yeah.
uh, and you can't like take like a Top Gun and rehash it into Star Wars and do the Star Wars thing on it. It has to be special. It has to be unique. Like these characters need to be unique. They gotta be diverse. And when I mean diverse, is like it's Star Wars, right? So you got your alien dude and your Twi'lek and pilot and like right. You gotta diversify. Bring this character. In this other interesting races in it too.
Yes.
So you can make it interesting and fun and new and different. So
Totally.
yeah, yeah, and I mean it could be a great idea. It's just that they need to like really um work on those characters and the writing. Like if that's right,
Right.
right, and it's like I trust ILM with their special effects, so I have no question there that that's gonna be great. The problem is that you gotta go back to the writing and you gotta make these characters good. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, cool. I mean, it could be a good thing.
Could
Like,
be.
we'll see. Yeah, but I guess it is like officially like back on track. So it's gonna be real interesting. What's other also very interesting, Joe, is that X-Men '97, which comes out what a couple of weeks, right? A few weeks from now.
Yeah, March 20th.
Yeah,
So it's coming quick.
yeah, it's coming out like next week.
Yeah.
So um, Paul DeMaio and he's basically like the primary writer or the showrunner for X-Men '97. He's also been involved with some of the projects over at Marvel. He was suddenly let go. Like Strader confirmed that he was let go. He didn't leave Marvel. Like this was an actual like firing.
Yeah.
Um, what the heck's happening, Joel? Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, this is bizarre. The timing is right before they were going on a press tour, right before the show's premiering. That's not a common thing to happen when you let somebody go, especially, even if you don't believe in a project,
Right.
traditionally you would still say this person has to try and sell their work to the public and go on this press tour and really try and boost it up. There has been nothing that has so far come about that I've heard, Obed, that this show's a stinker by any means.
No.
I'm not saying I've heard that it's great either. I'm just saying that the news has been very neutral. There's been still much excitement and anticipation. And now this is all going to be speculation now because when the Hollywood Reporter put this out as an exclusive, no one else, everyone else, all the other trades confirmed it that their sources said, yeah, this guy's gone. He got fired. Like you
Right.
said, it was not. a mutual decision. And two, every person that has reached out to comment to both Disney and to DeMeo have heard nothing. They have refused to comment and have not returned it. That is a huge sign that whatever it is, it's probably legal.
Yeah.
Because that's just again speculation. I don't know this as a fact, but if I take a guess, you probably need to get your attorneys involved because something's going on that you don't want to say. Whether that's you think you've been wrongfully terminated, whether it's you've been terminated and you need to protect your image because something else is going on. People have jumped the gun and said, "Is this guy like Brian Singer?" And take that as you
Oh.
will. I'm not making any accusations. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, take that as you will. That's what some people have already been spreading
You
out
don't
there.
necessarily have to go like all the way to Brian Singer. You can Joss Whedon this thing, right?
You could Joss Whedon it.
You can- yeah, because it
You
won't.
could,
It probably won't take much for Marvel to like. Nah.
yeah, like, we're
Yeah.
gone. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. It's very weird. It's very weird. I guess the guy is into like fitness and stuff, and he has an OF page or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
There's
I was
things
like,
that are out there that was
yeah.
known before, like with the project.
Right.
So
Yeah, yeah,
this is a
exactly. So it wasn't
and
this wasn't news like after this was announced,
right,
right? Yeah, this was known.
right. That's why the timing is very weird. Um, I saw him when he was at Comic Con. I was at
Oh,
this.
okay.
If you guys want to go to our YouTube channel and check out our San Diego Comic Con 2022 videos for the Marvel animation panel on that Friday that they had. He came out and brought X-Men 97. And yeah, like it was hype. There was all the Disney
Yeah.
executives and the Marvel executives that were there were, doing what you would expect. Like, we have full faith. This show is well along. It's gonna be great. It's coming soon. Obviously, we know the strike happened. Show got delayed. Here we are now, March, coming out in literally days. We're 6 days away. And yeah, this is a shock of information for sure.
Yeah. Um this is one of those that we're probably never going to find out what happened.
Maybe
Yeah. I
if
mean,
there is
unless
something
unless there's a
mischievous,
lawsuit,
someone
right?
else will
And
say.
right, unless there's something legal and then it becomes public, right?
Right.
Because even if they eventually decide to settle out of court, right? Whatever it is, if it's legal, right, it's still going to be public. There's still going to be
Right.
public records of it. So if it's legal, we'll know. But this could be one of those that was like, what happened? It was like it's like, and
Oh,
we probably
hearsay.
will. Well, yeah, we probably won't hear anything about this, and then we're gonna have to, um, I guess, just deal with the masked marauders out there on YouTube just speculating on like it's the end of the studios and all that thing. So yeah,
Well, at least we show our faces. But look, if this guy, if this show is bad, Obed, let's say for some reason it's just absolutely bad, would you instantly look at this and say that there's probably something to do with him and something with
um,
from this side of him
well,
firing,
it
or
has
do you
to.
think it's still separate,
Well, it has to be like bad,
like
like
egregious bad,
like egregious bad. Yeah, it has to be like real bad. Um,
like they
for
killed Wolverine and did something
for
terrible?
do something like this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna go. Uh, the only thing would be like a not even a bait and switch will get you that, right? Because we've been bait and switched before by Disney, with Star Wars and
yeah.
Marvel, but even then, right? The people don't get fired over that.
No, it's true.
This has to be like real bad, right? Or it's
Like the Good Dinosaur bad,
or
John
it's
Carter bad.
personal, right?
That's
So
true. That's true.
you got
Do you have
those
faith?
two. Hmm?
Do you have faith that this show is going to be good still?
Sure.
Uh, I feel like with Marvel right now, this has nothing to do with this guy.
Okay.
I'm just very much like, we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna ruffle some feathers here with what I'm
Oh,
gonna
here we
say.
go.
Well, okay. I think, and this is me, I haven't watched the original show in 25 years or whatever, right? I enjoyed that show the same way I enjoyed Masters of the Universe when I was a kid,
Ah.
right? That said, looking back, I went back and attempted to watch Masters of the Universe when I was an adult, and it's arguably trash. I've said it, and
Nostalgia
I
glasses.
stand by it. That show from the '80s is garbage, right? But then you watch the Netflix thing, Revelation Revolution.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Revelations. Revelations was great. It was real good. So, you know, there's that, right? Um, this could be a similar scenario where this could be just a continuation of the old thing, right? And it's good. Or it could be more of the same, in which case, depending on how strong your nostalgia is for this show, your mileage may vary.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. Right.
Okay.
Um and I say it because there's meme videos of like Gene is useless and Gene getting like it's like Scott Scott like a
Oh,
bunch of
oh, they
scenes of
talked
like
about it at
yeah, oh they
MegaCon. They
did,
talked
yeah,
about it,
yeah,
dude.
yeah,
There's like Storm. She was, dude. She was mocking it. She's like, "Who announces their powers as they're using it? Like by the winds, and I'm gonna do whatever.
right.
Like who
She
does
used to
that?" She's
do
like, "This
that,
is
yeah,
ridiculous,"
yeah,
but that's what they did.
yeah. And the whole thing, yeah, the whole thing with Gene was like Scott, and you get punched in the
Yeah.
face, Scott, you get blasted away, Scott, and then same thing with Cyclops, like yeah, Gene. So right, there's these
It was
things that
silly.
you consciously you don't see it right when you're a kid and you're watching this show, but they're there, and I bet, dude, I bet pineapple on pizza that I watched the show and I don't enjoy it as much as I did back then. Same as with Masters of the
Wow.
Universe. I
Wow.
dude, I took those
This is
glasses.
something.
I took those glasses off a long time ago, right? It's like there's certain things, right? There's see, and that's the thing. Like, I enjoyed Star Wars when I was a kid. I also
Right.
enjoyed the Ewoks movies, which are also garbage.
Ooh, that's bad.
So,
You like the holiday special?
no, I think I
You knew
watched
that was
it.
bad then.
I think I was back then. It's still back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
You,
that is
you knew,
one of
you
the
knew.
yeah. Oh, come on. And that's the thing. It's like you watch this thing, so it's like, oh man, I used to love this thing when I was a kid, and you watch it, it's like,
Right.
oh man, kind of a little bit of a letdown. Um, I I'm trying to think if there's a show. Um, okay, there is, and this is very personal to me. This is like I love Macross. Macross meaning Robotech. When the old anime Robotech that was um, Macross that was turned into Robotech in the '80s, right?
Yeah.
Um, I watched Robotech when I was a kid. I loved Robotech, but like love Robotech, right? I have a DVD box set of the Macross saga for Robotech. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good, man. That said, I went back and I had the opportunity to actually watch the Macross anime after that. Like, so the original version of Robotech before they Americanized it, and it was excellent.
Oh
It
yeah.
was great. It's great. And I will watch it again, and I stand by it. That is, it's one of my, you know, top three animes for me, for sure. Right? Because I have very fond memories. The movie is excellent. Um, but then you watch the US version, it's like, oh, this is not good, right? So we need to be objective when when they do throwback shows like this, right? And it's like, oh, this is very different from the other one. Like a lot of people complain about Revelations, like Master of the Universe Revelations, because oh, it's very different from the old shows. Like, yes,
Mm.
thankfully, because that old show is not good, right?
Right. 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 Right.
And that's the thing, right? It's like, yeah, I mean, you can enjoy it when you're a kid, but you watch it now and it's dumb, and it's like
Right.
nothing makes sense, and it's yeah, right. Like this, it's all disposable. There's no like cohesive storyline to it, and I digress. X Men, on the other hand, like, see what X Men gave us was a proper cohesive storyline, and it was probably one of the first um, U.S. shows to do that, right? And like an anime styles, like every show, like the story keeps going, right? And there was this long like saga type of things that would happen, and that it is an important show for what it was. I'm just saying that it may not hold up as well
Oh
as
yeah.
we may think it does. So that's what I'm trying to say, right? But yeah, this thing like it has to be like real, real, real bad. And if that was
You
if
might be
that's
onto
the reason,
something though. You
okay,
might be onto something.
yeah, no,
We'll
we'll
find out
see.
next week
They
starting.
they would have they would have known already though, because that this animation has probably been done for a while, and they're just
Yeah.
polishing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting.
The marketing hasn't been that hard for it though, so I don't know. We'll see.
No, yeah, it hasn't. It's been pretty tame, yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Um, all right. So WB, what are you doing? I'm not gonna play a video because we're running low on time, but the sequel to the Batman, or the Batman Part Two, as they're calling it, has been delayed a full year to October 2nd,
Yeah.
2026. Um, Joel, my I don't know, and I'm just making this up. Um, my suspicion is that they're going to try and do a back to back on this one and film the
Ooh.
next two films, or do part two and part three back to back, and hence the reason for the significant delay on the movie. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I suspect. What do you think?
Yeah, I I was surprised to see a whole year considering I was like, well, we still have plenty of time between now and 2025 to have this movie done. So that's not like to say you need basically 2 years for one movie is it's that's a bit much.
Right.
There has to be something bigger, like you're saying, in store. Whether that is, look, there's a scheduling conflict with an actor, and it's big enough that they have to switch it around, or it's something to the extent of the story's getting reworked, or something like you're saying, it's surprising, where it's like, guess what? We're just gonna go ahead and work on three now. Let's get this trilogy done with. Let's get our story told. Matt Reeves would be the guy that would have his stories already figured out, knowing where he's ending this thing,
Yeah.
what the complete thing is, and if WB is having some cash problems as we're considering it, the delay might actually be better for them financially to front run having this content already captured and completed, like you're suggesting, and then just go ahead and have back to back year releases for this movie pretty quickly. And just, we saw the first one, did decent. Could have done better if it wasn't for the pandemic
Right.
because people were watching on HBO Max,
But
and
yeah,
most people would have went to the theaters if that was
but
the case.
it's
It
a
would have
it's a
made way more
damn
money.
good movie though.
It's
Like
good.
I really liked it.
It's good.
Yeah.
DC needed that. DC needed that. That
Oh,
was a big
totally,
one.
totally. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm curious to also how this plays into James Gunn and his Batman film.
Right.
The timing, I figured that his Batman film would have been 2026, personally. So maybe it's later than that.
Right.
Maybe it's the same year and they don't care. They're gonna have two Batman films in the same year. I don't know, but it is
Yeah.
interesting nonetheless.
Because Superman is slated for next summer, right?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe they're just trying to get it out of the way. Maybe they're just trying to spread it, right? Like like WB has done this before, right? They do like I think they used to do it back in the Harry Potter days. It was like, oh, let's not go too crazy with movies. Let's just do Harry Potter this year, and we'll just wait, and we'll do something else, and then this other three movies that we have here, we'll do them next year because there's no Harry Potter
Right.
next year, right? and that way they can just balance out and which is a smart way to balance out budgets and all that, because you don't have to have like like Disney's 2019, but then you got 2023s, right? So
Correct.
so that's the thing, is like you can spread it out. That way, you can keep hype going. um you don't get the audience tired of like all the movies like coming out like so quickly. I think even if it's the delay because of that, I think it's a smart move overall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so too. Well,
yeah.
we'll see.
I would have liked to seen it sooner, right? Because that movie was filmed back in 2019 or
Dude,
2020. We were having lunch. It's like, hey, here's the picture of Batman. And then a week later, hey, we're working from home.
right.
So
Literally,
remember, yeah, remember
literally,
that? It was crazy.
long
So
time
man,
ago.
4 years ago, dude, it's insane.
Literally, and we gotta wait two more now for
And
this.
yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, well, we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Again, I just hope that they change that Joker design. I really don't like that Joker design. I think that was
I
the
don't like it either.
I think that was the only thing that I was like, oh, this Joker design is not good. Like they
Yeah.
should change it. Like they're trying to be super edgy and it doesn't work, right? So, yeah, that's the only thing that I hope that they tweak. So,
Yeah.
yep. But we'll see. Joel, last bit of news is that we officially have a date for the Super Mario Brothers movie sequel, or Super Mario Bros. 2. April 3rd, 2026. They announced it on Sunday, which was Mario Day. And yeah, not much to say. They said that they're hard at work on the movie. They have some really cool stuff that they want to do. And I'm looking forward to it. So, um, again, Universal coming in hot. They're going to open that park next year,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
Mario's going to come out, and they're gonna keep the whole Nintendo slash Mario Bowl rolling, and that Universal, they know what they're doing. They're running a tight ship right now. They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This movie is going to be clearly Yoshi centric. The little egg, Easter egg at the end of the movie,
yeah,
we know. And like they made $1 billion on the first one just purely based on the hype. As
right.
long as this movie is good, it's just good again. So they don't even have to be great. Just
Yeah,
make another good movie again, and you're gonna make another $1 billion easy. I think the love is gonna be even higher than ever by the time this thing comes out. It takes a long time for animation, so this one actually
right.
saying we're gonna have 2 years makes sense. Not
Yeah,
nothing against a live action Batman we were just talking about, but like this truly makes full sense of why it's got to be this amount of time, and I look forward to it.
yeah. I think just basing the movie more in Super Mario World, right? Which is a distinctive land, other than the Mushroom Kingdom. It's a
Yeah,
different, land altogether. And just doing it in a different place with other characters and the Koopalings, and who knows, even, maybe we'll get Bowser Jr. I don't know. So that'll be cool,
yeah,
right? So at least the Koopalings are probably gonna show up, and Yoshi for sure, of course. We got
yeah.
the end credits. So yeah, I think that's what they're probably gonna like, that organically, right? That would be the right choice, is going to Super Mario World and then having the Koopalings, and then the different zones, or different islands around Dinosaur World or Land, or whatever it's called.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I told my daughter, I was like, yo, they know some Mario movie, and she's like, 2026. I don't wait 2 years for this. Yeah, I'm gonna be like 11 years old. It's like, it
Oh,
doesn't matter. We still go. Yeah, let's go. So she's still high for it.
nice, nice.
No, that first movie was really good. So that's another one that's like, uh, when when the unfortunate, inevitable, passing of Shigeru Miyamoto happens. I'm not pulling a Peter a Peter Cullen here, but when it happens again, that's gonna be another one that's gonna be felt, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
because that's, you know just like with
Oh my God.
Toriyama, it's things
Yeah,
that really like
yeah,
stay with you forever, and
yeah.
you made new memories out of that, and it's all great. So, Joel, that's what we got. You want to go ahead and
Yeah,
wrap it up?
absolutely. Thank you all so much for sticking with us here on the show. We invite you to stay subscribed to No Load Time. Join us on our YouTube channel, No Load Time. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and drop us a comment. Really helps us out. We appreciate it. Also, subscribe to the podcast version of the show on podcast platforms of your choice: Spotify, Amazon Music, SoundCloud. We're out there. Go ahead and subscribe. Additionally, if you'd follow us on social media at No Load Time, that's at No Load Time. If you're watching a video version, you'll see the handles down below. Also, if you could go ahead and follow us on our Twitch, which is No Load Time altogether on Twitch. And also, last but not least, if you have a question, comment, or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. You can always write a comment on the videos, but you can also send an email. Send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And maybe, just maybe, we'll even talk about your question or comment on a future show. Thank you all so much. We look forward to being with you next time.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.